There's already some chum in the water when it comes to the New York Football Giants playing at home on Monday night. Talk about where the line started, Andy, where it's headed. And as we're doing this on Friday, so we feel pretty comfortable that as long as he doesn't get too out of hand with this line movement to be able to give our predictions here. But where do we stand on FanDuel?
Yeah, so a few different places had the Giants open up as 1 point favorites. 1.5 points was the most I saw the Giants at. A lot of other sites had the Giants at right around a pick 'em.
Yep.
Um, the line has moved considerably, and people are betting Seattle based on the Giants just not being able to move the ball or stop the other team from running the ball. And so,
Yeah.
right now, as we sit here, it's the New York Giants getting 1.5 points. You may, 60% of the bets continue to go in on Seattle, even at that number. I wouldn't be
Mm-hmm.
surprised to see it get to +2 for the Giants, which is kind of where I think it would settle down. What's your initial reaction to hearing that?
I mean, combined with the injuries and the performance of this team, they're already a neutral site underdog to Seattle. And then at home, it's enough to move the needle initially. Now you're talking about you would be a touchdown. You probably be getting close to 5, right? 6 points if you were on the road in Seattle in this game. You're a touchdown underdog to a team that has 2 out of their 3 games looked very strong this season, has been building up. It just means that there's zero confidence in the New York Football Giants. There is no trust even in that scenario, which I'll acknowledge something that you and I, behind the curtain here, when the Giants are playing, Andy and I, we do a text back and forth, and all it is debating about this season. What's the real problem, right? We went back on the San Francisco game. I'm like, you're telling me the defense is a leaky sieve. It's unacceptable. I'm defending what the offense is or isn't doing. It's a mess. But to your point, you said before we got into the line here, if the offense scores 30, but the defense gives up 38, what does it matter? Geno Smith, after Dak Prescott, is the best quarterback the Giants will have faced this season. So the line in the movement just tells me nobody believes that the Giants are going to, quote, bounce back here on Monday night.
Let me ask you a question. I know this sounds
Sure.
very, very silly, Adam, but
Okay.
do you think that there's a faction of the fan base that would rather see Daniel Jones throw for 350 yards, 3 touchdowns, and the Giants lose, as opposed to the Giants are in a field goal type game and they win the game 13-10 and the offense stinks? Like, would you rather see the offense humming along against Seattle but lose the game, or the Giants find a way to scrappy win, but the offense looks completely debilitated?
Yeah, it's weird because I don't think it's as silly, as you may think, because the problem is that the Seattle defense, pass defense, has been so bad this year that it's same thing with Arizona, right? Did that second half really matter? For Daniel Jones looked great. It was historic. So you say, well, it has to be. He played an NFL defense and he did that. I'm not far away from saying, even though this is a must-win game relative to this year, I'm not far off from saying I just want Daniel Jones to keep proving that if this team gets better, he is still the guy, right? Because with every loss this team takes on, it's inevitable that the Giants organizationally are going to have to say, what is our short and long-term future right now, regardless of Daniel Jones' performance. So I don't know, dude. Like, just win, baby. Like, that's what we're about. But I'll flip back on you. If Daniel Jones goes 14 of 31 for 165 yards and the Giants win a 15-12 game, you'll love the win, but will you come out any more confident in this team and in these individuals?
Yeah, that's the bingo question that you need to ask yourself. It's like the problem that we have right now in this game, Adam, and we're being very long winded about it, but I just keep thinking about the idea of like this is one of the worst defenses in the league, right? And so the expectations are that the
Yes.
Giants are going to score 30 points, and if they do
Yeah.
score 30 points, people are going to say it was against one of the worst defenses in the league. Not necessarily that, oh, the offense seems to be clicking in rhythm, getting all this stuff. It's very difficult for me. If Daniel Jones only throws the ball like 23 times in this game, then there has been a failure in the game plan from Mike Kafka and Brian Dable, because Andy Dalton threw the ball 58 times and
Yeah.
had 350 yards. If he has the ability to move the ball that way against Seattle, the Giants need to be able to say, Daniel Jones, we're going to put it on your arm,
Yep.
potentially with no Saquon Barkley, with no Andrew Thomas, right?
The Giants can only lose this game in the 30s. They cannot lose this game in the teens, right? Like, it cannot be that at the end of this game, we're like, yeah, and on 25 attempts, Daniel Jones just couldn't quite find. No, No. If you're not going to find your receivers, if you're not going to make the connections, you're not going to do it a lot. You're going to do it to an upsetting level where the next day we know the fan base will be saying, "Good Lord, Daniel Jones was only 50% completion percentage on 48 attempts." Yep, that's what it needs to be. So we're both in alignment around, I think, the way that the mode of attack needs to be here. So when we think about this game being a 47.5 over under, does that mean we both automatically agree smash the over here on this one, whether it's the Giants in a blowout or a back and forth offensive battle?
There the world that this game goes under is not one that we want to live in as Giant fans for the rest of the season, because that would mean that the Giants offense couldn't get it going against one of the worst
Yep.
defenses in the league. So I think you and I are in agreement that this feels like a point game. This is going to be teams being able to move the ball up and down the field. I would love it if it went under and the Giants defense showed up and looked like what the Rams did against Seattle in week 1. I just don't think that's going to be the case. I think you and me both feel like this is going to be a points game, and whoever has the ball last might be the team that ends up winning.
If we're smashing the over, what is your bet of the what's your play of the week here inside of this game? Anytime touchdown score, over on passing yards for Daniel Jones seems like an easy one to go in the direction of. But anything sexy in here?
So Daniel Jones's passing yards, if you want to throw a guess, what do you think his passing yards opened up at?
Over under. I think I remember last week it was like a little close to like 220. I'm gonna say over under at 243.5.
So it opened up at 214 and a half,
Oh,
which is
I thought you said 240. Good Lord.
14
There's
and a
no
half.
context in this
And
game.
obviously, bettors have been betting the over and also all Daniel Jones passing yard props. It's moved up to 229 and a half. So
Okay.
people have moved the line 15 yards based on the fact that this Seattle defense is almost historically bad. Only the
Yeah.
Chargers are worse, giving up passing yards with all the talent that they have. Yeah, Adam, to me, even at 229, it feels like Daniel Jones needs to throw his way out of this.
Of
And I think
course.
the Giants need to open this up and get the ball in receivers' hands as much as humanly possible. So for me, 229 does not scare me at all, even as it continues to go up. Like, you got to expect Daniel Jones is going to get 250 yards in this game, or else something has gone wrong.
Yeah, set that high, like I said, like around the 240 or 245, something around there. I would be like, hey, a lot of things can happen there and still have a really good game. But at 229, I think you have to take the over on that, especially seeing the number move up a little bit. If we're talking about, I don't know, man, like it's so hard for me to look inside this and say who's the anytime touchdown score. I'd like to think, good Lord, that a player like Darren Waller could come away with this. Maybe you would say Isaiah Hodgins. You've got Darren Waller at plus 270 for an anytime touchdown scorer here. You also have, let's find, where is Isaiah Hodgins sitting here? He's at plus 440. I don't know if you love him in the red zone. He is a bigger body guy, but I got to believe that if Darren Waller is going to be worth his weight here, it needs to come in the red zone on a couple of key targets. He's a high point guy. Let him use the frame. 6'6", hold your arms up. You're 8 feet tall. So I would take that just on the positive line there, knowing that the Giants are going to be slinging this thing around.
If you want a long shot, the other thing that I think, because Daniel Jones is going to be passing it, Wandale Robinson to score a touchdown is plus 750, Adam. That
That's
seems
nice.
to me like a great bet, value bet that you can get in on. So just something to consider.
You know what I like as well, in the same vein as Wando Robinson, because it's very play specific. I don't hate Daniel Bellinger if he's healthy and ready to be out there at plus 900 for an anytime, because both he and Wandale Robinson get utilized in that 3-set backfield when they have a tight end or a wide receiver there. We saw this play last year. We saw it in preseason. Daniel Bellinger, right? The little leak out to the left side, turnover. It's when you're inside the 7-yard line and Daniel Bellinger scoots in. Wandale Robinson, first touchdown in his rookie before he got injured. Same type of play. So I like that if the Giants get in close. So either one of them, I might even, you split it up. If you throw, we don't go big bets here, but why not a little bit on both? Cover yourself. Somebody has to score. So inevitably, the Giants will get shut out in this game somehow. Prediction time, brother. Where do you go on this one? Who do you like? Are you taking the points at home for the Giants?
I have thought about this one for quite a bit,
Yeah.
and I am fully committed to the idea of the Giants offense putting up points.
Okay.
What I am not committed to
is the
is the
Giants winning
Giants
with all the
defense stopping Seattle from putting up
yeah.
points. And that's really where my head's at. I'm like, man, I just don't know. Like,
Yeah.
look at the Arizona Cardinals, look at the Cowboys, look at the 49ers. They all were able to move the ball. We mentioned the rushing yards per game is the issue. Adam, it's tough. I think the offense looks better. I think they put up points. Their over-under on points is 23 right now. I think the Giants should be able to get over 23 points, or again, something has gone horribly wrong. I just don't have faith in this defense until I see something from them. So right now in this game, I've got the Seattle Seahawks winning 30-27 in a shootout where I think the Seattle Seahawks get the ball last, move down the field, and kick a field goal.
So that's the over for Andy. He laid the points. As we know, we're doing this on Friday. So, but anything underneath 3, even up to 2.5, Andy would still take Seattle. And to your point, that's a shootout. It's shootout at Jace, because if I think the Giants are going to be offensively like firing here and really getting us excited, I need them to take that second half against the Arizona Cardinals and then drop a little something on top, right? So if this game's in the 30s for the Giants, I start to get more confident about them winning this game. I mean, listen, dude, I'm just going to note that Matt Breida was an absolute, 4 carries against San Francisco, 17 yards. What is he in this game? Like, that's such a big factor if Barkley's not going to be available. Didn't see any really of Gray, the rookie, which was kind of frustrating because we were all told to get excited about him in the offseason. I have to take the over because to your point, I have no confidence in this defense right now. Maybe all this, they prove me wrong, guys. Love it.
Great.
Love to be wrong on these predictions when it goes a good way for the Giants. But they've shown me nothing to indicate that they're ready to make big plays right now. And Seattle's shown me a lot offensively. So I'll take the over. You know what, man? We're hanging on by a thread here this season. I think we've done a good job both being wrong about our predictions every single week. So I'll stay. I'm going to, this is,
No. Wait, hey, listen. We were
go with your gut.
right on Arizona,
That's right.
correct on San Francisco. I think
That's right.
we all had expectations going into the Dallas game that things would.
It was the Dallas game. The Dallas game was so bad that it
felt like it
clouded
wiped
my
away
it's
all the
clouded my
credibility.
memory of the past 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. The Giants at least make us think that this season can still be viable at home. Seattle coming across the country, though. Go look at the numbers. Seattle's actually very good on the road at the Giants over the last 4 meetings. I'll take the Giants. I'll take them 34-31. New York Football Giants. So you can take the points if you want to, or you do a little alternate line and maybe send some Seattle's way if you want to make a couple of bucks. Brimming with confidence, I think you'd say we both are. That will do it for the New York Football Giants predictions. We'll find out, man. We will be back in probably Tuesday morning. If it's kind of epic, you could see us lingering around on a Monday night. But until next time, you get over to YouTube where you get us at One Giant Podcast, on Twitter at One Giant Podcast, and of course at AndyMac214 and at Adam Armbrecht. Until next time, my friends, God, now more than ever, as Andrew Makowitz would want, need, and nay, demand the people know.
As always, let's go Big Blue.